Okay, so we're in Malachim Beis, Perek Aleph, Pasuk Aleph. So for now we start the story of Athalyah, Achazyahu. So we just ended off. Let's go. We ended off in Perek Yud. That what ends up happening is we have Yehuda, Yehuda. Yehu goes ahead and kills Yehoram, and Malchus that's Malchus Yehuda, Achazyahu gets killed. So both kings are dead. And not only that, now Yehosheva gets killed, three all in one day. On top of that, not only he gets killed, we also have they get rid of the Baal. So that's where we ended. The Baal is destroyed. Now, Perek Aleph, we're going to focus now on Malchus Yehuda. What happened? So Athalyah, Achazyahu. You have this woman. Her name was Athalyah. She was the mother of Achazyahu. Don't forget, who just got killed. He was the Melech Yehuda who just got killed. She was actually the daughter of Achav. And she was the wife of Yehuda. So she comes from the Achav, and she now is but her husband was Achazyahu. So she's kind of on two sides. So she saw Kimeis Bina, her son just got killed. And then she decides like this. She decides she wants to become the new king and queen together. So but Takam, she gets up and with this Abed as Kol Zera HaMelucha. She decides she's gonna go and she kills the entire royal family. What does that mean? First, she explained she wanted ahead. She poisoned her family, so she poisoned essentially her grandchildren because she wanted that she should be the queen, but she didn't want any opposition in the queen, she didn't want to stand up against her. So she says, you know what? That's it. I'm going to poison everybody, and therefore they'll have a slow death. Nobody will realize it was really her, and she'll be the only one left. So that's what she tries to do. Okay, now let's see, and also there won't be any opposition because if she kills all the grandchildren, so now no one's going to stop her from being the queen. Now, really, she's being mekayim the nevuah of Eliyahu Navi, who said get rid of all the people of Achav, because essentially she is the daughter of Achav. So she's getting rid of all her grandchildren who are really from Achav. You understand? So that's just an interesting point. That she didn't have that kavana, but that's really what ends up happening. Now, okay, let's just go weiter. Now, Vatikach Yehosheva bas Melech Yehoram. Now, the daughter of Melech Yehoram, which is also the daughter of Athalyah. So her daughter, Athalyah, goes ahead and kills all the grandchildren, and her own daughter goes ahead and who is Achazyahu, the sister of Achazyahu. But as Yoash, she takes Yoash ben Achazyahu, she goes and she steals him away. She kidnaps this little boy and Hamusim that were killed, and she takes this child and the nurse of the child, and she puts them in the house, in the chamber of the beds. We'll see what that means in a second. And she hides this child from Asyahu, and she doesn't kill this child. Okay, let's just see what happens. So this daughter of Athalyah, she goes ahead and she takes this child, the grandchild of Athalyah. She takes the daughter, takes away the child of the child's name was Yoash. And she puts this child in the Cheder HaMitas. What is that? So Rashi explains is in the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, there was a secret chamber on top, and she puts this little child there with a nurse, and she said this child she's gonna raise over there. And the goal was that the child gets a little older. This child is from Beis David, right? And Hashem promised that Beis David is going to have a continuity. Beis David is going to continue on and on. So this child, and she's not relevant because she is not fitting for a king, right? So and also she's really not entitled to the king. So this child, and also in order that Mekayim, that David Melech should continue on, this little child, he's very little, but eventually he'll be old enough, and then they'll make him eventually the Melech, and that's what's going to happen in a minute. But in the meantime, she brings this little child, and this little child right now is in the Beis HaMikdash, and he's being raised secretly. Nobody knows, and he's upstairs, and he's hiding there. Now, how does she have access to that place? So what happened was, because this lady, this Yehosheva was married, we'll see in a second, she was married to the Kohen Gadol. So since she was married to the Kohen Gadol, Yehoyada, we'll see a couple of them in a second, so they had special access to the secret rooms. And therefore, they brought this child there, and no one knew where he was, and he was not killed. Now with the Pasuk Gimel. Ita, Beis Hashem, Amachbi Sheishanim, Athalyah Malachas Haaretz. So what happened? This child's in the land for 6 years, and Athalyah becomes the king and the queen of Eretz Yehuda. Okay? Pasuk Dal. Shana Shvius, in the 7th year Shalach Yehoyada, who's a Kohen Gadol, he sent a message. He says, you know what? Let's now, I'll say it outside, no, we'll do it inside. So what he does is he gathers 100 officers, and he says, look, what we're going to do is we're going to first he's going to tell them the secret. And the secret is that in this secret attic in the Beis HaMikdash, there's this little boy, not so little anymore. Now he's already 7 years old, and first of all, I'll tell you, still a secret. He's alive because nobody knew he's alive. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this boy and we're going to make him the Melech, and kind of start a little rebellion. And as soon as Athalyah finds out about it, the grandmother finds out about it, she's going to go ahead and she's going to go a little crazy. And then as soon as we're able to, we'll take her out. We're going to kill her, and we'll make Yoash the new Melech in Yehuda. That was the goal, and that's kind of what happened. Let's see the passage. Okay, so Yehoyada goes ahead and he sends a message. And he gets the officers, the Kari, which were like these were the officers over the mighty officers, the Ratzman and the feet soldiers. And they brought him to Beis Hashem. And he told them, he made a deal to keep quiet. He told them the secret. Beis Hashem, and he did it in the Beis HaMikdash. Why? He wanted that it should be a serious thing. The people should realize he's telling them a very serious thing right now. In the Beis HaMikdash itself, he tells them that. And then he shows them the king's son, this little boy in the attic, and he showed them this big secret that he's alive and he's well, and he's going to be the future of Beis David. Okay. And now he told them, he told these Sarmei, he says, and this is what you should do. 1/3 of you, of those who come for Shabbos, the Shemim Mishmeres Beis HaMelech, basically there's Mishmaros. So he breaks Mishmaros into 3 sets. He says 1/3 is going to be the people that keep an eye on the Beis HaMelech. 1/3 we'll explain in a minute. It means Bashar Sur, and 1/3 is Bashar Achazyahu. Basically, you have the Beis HaMikdash. Right next to the Beis HaMikdash is where the queen is. It's literally there's a ramp a back road that connects the two. So we need to have one set of soldiers. Okay, so what's going to happen is Athalyah finds out about it. She's going to quick run into the Beis HaMikdash. She's going to see a commotion. So we have to keep guard and keep a very, very tight knit on what's happening over here. So what we do is the first we took the mishmar. It's broken into 3 parts. One mishmar is going to be keep watch on the Beis HaMelech. Keep an eye. The way the Metzudah learns, it means in the future when Yoash becomes the Melech, they're going to keep guard to keep security over there. A shlishes, and the second and 1/3 is maybe Shar Sur. The Shar Sur, Rashi says, is a Shar on the eastern gate. That was on the east side. The shlishes is going to be Shar Acharatzim. Shar Acharatzim is Mishar Azar. Rashi learns. I believe that's the Shar that connects the palace. That you have to keep very, very careful over there. Shmarta Zabayas Masa. And that the way they learn it is that that's the last shar. You have to keep a very good eye on, because that is what keeps that connects the Beis HaMikdash to the palace. Okay, pasuk zayin. Now then, v'shtei yados became, and 2 groups of you, kol yotzei Shabbos, those that go out on Shabbos, v'shamru es meshez Beis Hashem el HaMelech. See, so basically the way it was is that the Mishmar came in and the Mishmar went out. So one Mishmar, and both of them, the Mishmar went out on Shabbos, the Mishmar came in on Shabbos. So he said is that Shabbos, both Mishmars should stay. So there should be a lot of people in the Beis HaMikdash. So when this whole thing happened, Athalyah shouldn't be suspicious that something's going on. So it made sense that week there were a lot of extra people there. And he says he should do is you extra people in the Beis HaMikdash should circle. You should circle the king. Each of you should have weapons in your hands. Now, you have to realize, they don't know what's going to happen. As soon as she finds out that he becomes the king, she might quickly send the army. They don't know what's going to happen. But he said is, look, let's put a big circle around him, and everyone's going to get a weapon. Anyone who breaks into the inner circle where the new little boy is, he's the Melech, is going to be killed. So don't let anybody in. And then we will bring the king in. And right. In other words, you guys are going to protect you can protect anyone who goes near the king. Yeah, fine. But yeah, sorry, Mayos. So they listened to what he said. Yichu ish and esanashav. By Shabbos, they did. He said each person was by Shabbos and Yotze Shabbos. Ve'yavayu el Yehoyada the Kohen, and they all came to the Kohen Gadol Yehoyada. Okay, Ve'yitan and Kohen sorry Meis. The Kohen he gave the sorry Meis as Chanas Hashik. They gave, like he said, the spears. They're going to get the spears and the shields. Asher Melech David. That was from David. Asher Beis Hashem, and that was in the Beis Hashem. What does that mean? So some say it means this famous spear of David Melech was a spear of Goliath. He took it from Goliath, and that was the spear that he had. I think that's the Pashup Pshat. That was the spear of David, and that was stored in the Beis Hashem. It was in the Beis HaMikdash. That's where it was stored. Fine. Pasuk in Aleph. Vayamdu haratzim ish v'kela biyadei. So now the runners, the feet soldiers, they stood there with the kela in their hands. The kesef bias yamanas on the right side. That's the kesef bias as well as on the left side. The mizbeach on bias and alamelech and it was on the left and the right, and then it was all round, and it was all round where the melech was. So basically, he circled, and the melech's in the middle. Okay, and they're getting ready now to bring Yoash into the Beis HaMikdash for the first time. Yosi is Ben HaMelech. Finally, they bring the Ben HaMelech. Here he is. He shows up. They eat love Esanezer, and they put the crown on his head. The Esaedos, and also the Sefer Torah. From Licho Esai, they made the Melech. Vayimshchu, and they made it, and they anointed him. The Yaku Kaf, and they clapped, and Yomi, they said Chi HaMelech. They said, "Long live the king." So a couple of things happened. First of all, the first thing that happened is they put the crown on his head, right? So Rashi says, well, for the Pashup Pshat, he put the crown on his head, and magically the crown fit his head. Now we have to realize he's about 7 years old now, and the crown just fit on his head. Now the crown was a much bigger crown; it had to fit on his head. When Yehoyada tried to put the crown on his head, it brings down that it was too big for him, or whatever. It didn't fit on his head, and this magically it was a nace that it fit on his head. Now when David went ahead to kill Goliath, remember if you remember earlier in that story, he took Shaul's clothing and they put it on David, and magically it shrunk and it fit him. So that's when Shaul realized, this guy is something to this person. So you see the idea when someone's doing when someone's the real person, suddenly it fits him. So that's the first thing, they put the crown on his head, and then it says that's the Edus. What's the Edus? Edus means he put the Sefer Torah. Okay, and they said that he's the Melech, and they made a whole. It was a whole ceremony in the Beis HaMikdash. Fine, Pastor, you give him. Atishma Salya. So now this is the moment of truth. She hears as Kol HaRatzim. She hears runners, V'tavi Alam, and people coming. Beis Hashem, because you have to realize she's next door. She's in the palace. Atira and she looked. Atira V'hinei HaMelech Ayman Alam. She sees that the place where the king would stand, there's someone there, and she sees this little boy, which was commissioned, which was the normal way. Vasar officers, and they're blowing chatzaitzos rather than blowing trumpets. Everyone's happy. Everyone was blowing trumpets. A tikra. Okay, so again, so imagine this little Sally is on the stage. Everyone's blowing trumpets. Everyone's clapping. Everyone's excited. They have a new melech. And now Sally hears that, and Tikra, Sally is big. She tears her clothing, Tikra, and she screams out, "Kasher, kasher, kasher, kasher!" There's a rebellion. She was hoping that her loyalist people would say, "Oh my gosh, there's a rebellion," and they'll come help her. But in the meantime, Yehoyada the Kohen, as Sarah Meir, he tells the Sarah Meir right away that what the Kudei Achayil, who are the people anointed over the army, he tells them, take her base as take her out. Take her out. Why take her out? Because she's a very wicked person and she's chayav misa for all that she did. But the thing is, we didn't want to kill her in the Beis HaMikdash. It's not covered in the Beis HaMikdash to have someone to be killed in the Beis HaMikdash. So take her out. And anyone follows, and anyone that gets involved here is going to be killed. So just everyone stay out of the way, and we're going to go kill her. Because the Kohen said, like it says, basically take her out and don't get involved, and she's gonna be killed. Okay. It means they made a place, an area for her to be able to go out, because to make sure there's no one in the way. But so they took a special way where the horses go, a special path, the Beis Hashem and what the Tumas Hashem, and they killed her over there in that place. So now she's killed, and now David HaMelech's the Ner David continues. The new Melech is Yoash, and he was the king. The Yehoyada has bris. So now what has happened? Yehoyada was a Kohen Gadol. He made a bris between Hashem and between Melech, between the He made Liyos Ha'am Hashem. He said, the guys making a bris, everyone got to follow Hashem. And again, the bris is between Hashem and between Melech and between So everyone together, we're going to all follow Hashem. And then he made a second bris. He said, the second bris, between Melech and That's Tama bris. The way the Mepharshim learned, that's a Tama bris he made that everyone's be loyal to the king. The people will be loyal to the Melech. And Beis Habal, all the people came, all the people of the land that came, Beis Habal, and what by the two, and they tore it down. It seems like right nearby there was it seemed like there was like a specific Baal that was nearby the Beis HaMikdash, and everyone came and they were so excited. Finally, we have back Machas Beis David, and we made a bris with Hashem. So they took the Baal and they tore it down. That's Mizbechosav, that's Tzumav, and the altars and the statues, Shibru, they smashed them and they broke them completely, hated them completely. That's Matan Kohen Habal, and the Matan, he was the priest. He was like, the name was Matan, he was the priest of the Baal. What did they do to him? Hargu, the Fnei HaMizbecha, they killed him right in front of his Bechas. The Yasem HaKoyen, the Kudos, and Yehoyada the Kohen, he set up in Mishmaros al Beis Hashem. So it seems like he reinstituted the Mishmaros that the way Rashi learns is that Athalyah was Overthrown Mishmaros, and now he went ahead and reinstituted Mishmaros in the Beis HaMikdash. Pasuk Yotes, the Yikach Sari Hameis, we took this, the army that he made, the 100 and the Kari and the Ratzim, all the and the runners, as Kol Amaretz, the Yiridu as a Melech, and he escorted them down. He escorted them to the king, Beis Hashem, but Yavai the Derech Shar. Ultimately, he came to that special way that I think it was. That's where Athalyah was let out from, right? He went down the special path. That earlier, it was a special path. I think we said it was an elevated path. It was made of, right? We had earlier, and I think we went doing that special path, Beis HaMelech, Yehosheva Malachim, and they brought the Melech. Again, so in that path, they went down with the army and the Ratzim, right? They all went down. They went the Derech Shar Ratzim, Beis HaMelech, Yehosheva Malachim. They sat the Melech, I guess it means, onto the royal throne. So now the Melech is on the throne. But Yisach Kol Am Haaretz, everyone was very happy. Everyone rejoiced. And the city was quiet. It's Achazyahu Umas B'Cherev Beis HaMelech, and it just repeats it that Achazyahu, and this, why were they all happy? Because Achazyahu was killed. But again, the Malachim just says maybe why does it repeat it? It's just, so the simple pshat repeats that she was killed. It's saying why are they happy? Because Achazyahu was killed, and now there's no Avodah Zarah. The Malachim says maybe pshat until now maybe they were killed, like they started killing her. She was a goysis, and now they finished her off. All right, that's the end of Perek Yud Aleph.